Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Coming live from Free Up Your Heart, children of God, and that's you, and that's you, and that's me, and that's me. I hope all of you. I hope I can make this pretty quick. We might do a short reading. I don't even know what to call it. It's a message. I'm going to give it. Nobody's going to see it. Pretty soon here, if God doesn't really wrap this up, I'll be a felon, and I will be a felon, and for being raped and assaulted by an officer in Monroe County, Michigan. I'm going to be a registered felon for that, and further drugged and abused in the jail in November 2024. I just want to continue to state that. I may or may not repost the video on my cura of the violent crime that the police set up. I've been harassed for years now by the police. See, I'm like trying to remember what I was saying some years back. Like I really thought it was near judgment. But that there was still a door opening for a reprieve. We've already received a little more time, but because of, and I'm only going to stick with 5 points of why judgment is less than 10 years. We already have received the short-term reprieve because certain measures were not obeyed by leaders, yet the people pleaded and pleaded and pleaded. People put their lives on the line to expose corruption, to request certain leaders to resign, to be imprisoned for crimes against humanity. None of this has been, it's actually just getting worse. Some say it's getting better. Please show me what's getting better. So look forward to judgment. If you know Jesus, it should be somewhat of a celebration. We're not really looking forward to all the people that are stupid, that refuse Jesus and have went along with all of this, or made matters worse for everyone around them. Is AI is not, if AI is not dismantled, compare the equivalent of what AI is to overcharged Ouija board, other occult material, conjuring, making wishes, spells, using it like a genie, curses, reliance, addiction, effects between human to human relationships, is adverse, in adverse, destructive ways is AI. If you think you can manage it, great. But now we're ushering in something else on top of. So these were the things to be decreased or to not, that we would not be involved in if we wanted to increase our time on earth prior to judgment. So I'm only going over 5 points. There's more. Is first, fixing corruption from our roots up in America. Misuse of power, inhumane practices has accelerated. It has not decreased. That goes back to the part where I said all the people that have tried and what has happened to their lives, most of them, if they haven't been killed, they've probably lost almost everyone that they loved. Their lives have been adversely affected in one way or another for caring about humanity. 2, postponed or end all connection to international wars, funding, weapons. That needs to cease for however long, unless we are rescuing the vulnerable, targeted civilians. Unless there is some kind of rescue mission going on. Humanitarian aid to them. I don't want to get into who kept also, I guess, apparently blowing ships up of humanitarian aid to a coast somewhere. I'll keep that vague. Too many wars and deaths could have decreased. They did not. What time frame were we allowed for these to decrease? A super duper duper long time. 3, this is more vital than any of us are ever going to want to admit to, because we love our swift technology. Is 3G to 5G. Look at human interactions, societal changes, violence rise on the increase. It would not just be fully to do with the 3G to 5G towers. Too many of them in areas. They've got them out in the middle of nowhere out here. There's this one region we would look out there a little bit too from time to time. Is they got one they just plopped one right up on this, and there's no houses, and it's just there. There's like maybe 2, but it's mostly farms, and someone would say, oh, well, that's better than being by a bunch of houses. Why is it? What's it doing? Okay, I know what it's doing, but that doesn't matter right now. This was all done to us. We didn't give permission, but then we went along with it all at the same time. Other factors, but this does not help, and that's discussing the towers. So maybe if we could have just kept the towers at a lower G, maybe we would have had a little longer of a reprieve, of a time given. And then while all that crap's going on, let's just annihilate all the farmers worldwide and do all this weird stuff with our food. And now they're throwing the word demonize around. Yeah, I'm going to use the word demonize. Maybe I'll do it for the rest of the show. How sick. And then demonize farmers and demonize people who eat animal products, and then start luring people into bugs. It was a real thing. It was or is. And if you can't see all of these propagandas as straight from the pits of hell, that's very worrisome. So while that's going on, annihilation, making it difficult for people to grow their own food, some of it's let up, some of it's gotten worse in certain areas for people. California, you better not talk about nothing other than eating bugs, I guess, and how much you enjoy it. Government paying and richies all working together, and it trickles down, and there's way too many payoffs or benefits galore back and forth in these other realms that some of us may not know about or see, to harm, maim, harass incessantly even the littlest on the totem pole, vandalize, false report on, even in the medical profession, or murder for hires, defamations, framings, fraud, shunning. And it'll come out, and God will bring it all out one day. It'll be too late. Most of the people that were having this done to them will be gone. But this happens to people that care about the truth seekers, truth tellers, are getting constantly harassed and are killed. I don't know one that isn't. I don't know them like where I can say for sure, but the ones that truly know the paradigm problem and what's going on and who's controlling everything behind the scenes. Sometimes I use the thing about the wizard behind the, like, Wizard of Oz, and it's really not too far off. He had all of his minions and his gaslighters and his flying monkeys, and he had all this crazy chaos going on. Okay, continued to hide behind a curtain. And they're not hiding. And yes, we use technology, and what is the one good thing about technology is that the rapid rate of corruption that's been uncovered and how quickly people are able to see stuff, that should be enough to get them in line. And with absolutely no violence involved. But now we're going to completely annihilate free speech and all of the above. Which really, if you're on the up and up, you know that the Constitution has been being violated for decades now in most situations that are of any importance at all, and of small importance, all the way up and all the way down. So number 4 was the payoffs. Most or large, yes, okay. 5, cannot join church and state. Have they completely gone off? Yes, they've gone off the deep end. So this is vital. Please study, find resources why this is unconstitutional in every which way, shape, and form. And it literally is part of the foundation of why our ancestors, many of them, fled from Europe, was because for the seeking of the separation of church and state. Do you want to be told what religion you have to follow, literally, like down to the very pastor and denomination? You guys, come on, dum-dums. And that's straight from spirit. This is a more planned video, but I still won't do the camera right. That's just my own problem that I'm sticking to. Any solutions? Does she have any solutions? Jesus Christ is the solution. And people that care about morals and ethics, that have not been labeled a felon to cover a trespassing, no warrant, a rape and assault person like me as of recent, just last November, is I can't get into office. I'll be a felon soon. And I don't want in office, but I am more than happy to be a cheerleader and to be a supporter of those with morals and ethics that need to scoot into offices, because we got to get these ones to retire that have just made a real mess, and they're just nothing but whiny, crying babies talking in circles all day. They need to go home. And they need all, like I've said, they all need to move to Mar-a-Lago and continue their madness there and leave the rest of us out of it. I thought about the infrastructure it would take for those that do care about truth and all of that to purchase our own piece of land somewhere, like in our own continent, and create a new country. But I can't even imagine what that would run. So, and nobody can get along long enough without getting their little feelings hurt every situation and talking in circles to even look at properties or countries that, and some people say, nope, we're staying here, this is our country. Well, then we need to stop the corruption, but it's not stopping. It's changing in its flair, its color. It's a chameleon. And those of us that backed this last clown, which we even knew deep down it was of no use, because they weren't going to fix these 5 bullet points. And I probably missed one, but there was the main point, and every last one of them has been dismantled in less than a year, in less than 10 months have been dismantled. And actually, some of the problems that we did have actually now increased because of mismanagement and corruption at the roots of our country that we didn't fix before we started sending out ice and stuff. I can't. So I can. That was it. And it's 15 minutes. See, that went quick when I write it down for the most part. Okay. I turn to Mark 3. So if that's of interest to you, a prayer for deliverance of the nation. We could go drum, but it's not. It's gonna storm. I think, no. That's all shut up in there. So we'd be good. No, we're just going to read it. O God, thou hast cast us off. Thou hast scattered us. Thou hast been displeased. O turn thyself to us again. Thou hast made the earth to tremble. Thou hast broken it. Heal the breaches thereof, for it shaketh. Thou hast shewed the people hard things. Thou hast made us to drink the wine of astonishment. Staggering. I think it's also in meaning of deception. The wine of delusionment. I don't know for sure. Thou hast given a banner to them that fear thee, that it may be displayed because of the truth. Selah. That thy beloved may be delivered. Save with thy right hand and hear me. God has spoken in his holiness. I will rejoice. I will divide Shechem, and Met out of the valley of Succoth. And Gilead is mine, and Manasseh is mine. Ephraim also is the strength of my head. Judah is my lawgiver. Moab is my washpot. Over Edom will I cast out my shoe. Philistia, triumph thou because of me. Who will bring me into the strong city? Who will lead me into Edom? Wilt not thou, O God, which hast cast us off? And thou, O God, which didst not go out with our armies? Give us help from trouble, for vain is the help of man. Through God we shall do valiantly, for he it is that shall tread down our enemies. And what's the final word? Who has victory? Jesus. If you're into Jesus, if you're in Jesus, yeah, we have victory. And if it's true, we get to recreate the earth together in the next realm or whatever it is, or this realm, or we truly are going to build this up. And I'm so narrow-minded, dumb human that won't be around to see it, but that I'm be given the urgency to present the material, or I wouldn't present it. So even if it's 50 years down the road, this was how it was supposed to be presented. Okay? So Yes, continue to pray. Always pray for our government. But our government is not our rescuer. And the sooner we get that in our head, the better. And they haven't been listening to the people for a long, long time. And it's sick. It's just sick. And I do believe that we can blame them for being sick, because there was plenty and plenty of people that didn't want it the way that it was, and they got booted a long time ago. And booted or destroyed or racked around to the point of a breakdowns or who knows what. But we still have to stay strong in Jesus, and we can still see miracles. And maybe we will. Maybe I just won't be there to see it. And so my whatever interpretation of how long, I told you guys I struggle with thinking something sooner than it is. And then it ends up being a little later or something. But actually I think sometimes it's getting to where now it's sooner than I thought. So it's kind of actually flipped. Before it was, things were like 30 years off, 40 years off, 50 years off. Well, I'm 50, so okay, we'll say 40 years off. 40, and then I would be like 30, whatever. And you guys, I was an odd child. I would have literally been in if I was in a certain environment, I would have been with the elders trying to learn the ways and really understand the mechanisms of this world and all the realms herein. And I'm being labeled as some kind of crazed lunatic that goes around telling people I'm going to off them. And they've been able to isolate this situation and block my communications. And just that in itself is kind of, you could almost be a little terrified, you know. But I just went off on a lot of tangents there at the end, and I could have just wrapped this up, which is prayer for deliverance of the nation with Psalm 60. And I think the other day or yesterday or the day before or whatever, I did Psalm 62. I think that's the one I did. Wait upon God. Okay, so that's all I have for today, but I'm very, very disappointed. I'm very disappointed in the establishment. And I am really disappointed that there's a few key, very talented characters. They're talented. I can't say they're appropriate, but I mean, they're talented. They got a brain on their shoulders. They're willing to change. They evolve. I mean, they literally could probably land themselves in some sort of, maybe some sort of leadership position one day, or just remain to be, it doesn't matter. Is that, I can't believe the scheming and all, it's literally increased. It's like people they're in little teams and they just try to keep annihilating certain key truth tellers. I'm not kidding. They just keep setting stuff up on them and accusing them of things they don't do and writing it down and getting it documented with the police and getting lawsuits and getting in trouble for stuff they didn't say or really do. And it's getting like so much worse. And I'm like, I don't have enough legal, Jesus is my lawyer and stuff, but if there's not at least to know that there was some kind of major rescue of sorts, or maybe one rescue even in the jail from what I watched. If there wasn't just at least one of those women rescued and that they were able to give a sane testimony of what goes on in there. Oh my God. I can't. I gotta go. I love you guys. Because, they wanted me incompetent, but I'm not. So now what's the next thing? Now they got it where the mental health place, they keep fucking, I'm not kidding, they keep fucking up my schedule, my appointments. And then they're marking down that I didn't show. And they're not emailing me, or the email's blocked. Either way, I've got 3 major important sources right now that I haven't seen one email. I haven't seen nothing I needed. Now they're sending stuff to the one that raised me. I had to keep all those secrets for that sicko, like forever. And now they're sending stuff to that house. I have not resided at that house since and it was a 2-year stunt, the last one, and that was in 2009. And Tom was really revving it up, like locking out of the house, calling the police and stuff. Yeah, he was just having a fun time. John was rear-ended, more like a hit and run to that year, one of the year, not between 2. Wow. All right. So no address since 2009, 2010. Okay, and then 11. No. 10, 11. Somewhere between 12 we moved. It still had some lingering mail, but not a peep. Chewy.com, Chewy to get food supply or dog supplies. Dumped a package at their house. I never went through Chewy back then. I don't even know if Chewy existed that long ago. Wow. You guys are fucked up. So I don't know how that's all lining up or who, what. And now that this other thing was a thing about a medical breach. Oh, really? Because mine was breached a lot. Whew. Yeah, just people just passing out my medical records like it was fun. And that's, I'm not exaggerating. And I don't even know if that's what it's for. She's then calling and bugging, and I guys need to move on, okay? Okay, let's just all move on. It's better that way. Love you. And if we all make it to the other side, to the decent side of the moon, or the heavens, the good side, then we'll meet back up there, I think, or something. But as far as I know, it's the family, your family in Jesus, and I have other family members in that family. It's not the ones that were defaming me and defacing me and just making things that much exponentially more difficult, really, all the time. Just all the time. I cannot believe what we can be loyal to at times. No, I mean, that's really important to think about. What the problem is that when we find out what we were actually loyal to, sometimes it's already too late, because we already invested our time or our energy or our trust into this situation or this occupation. Not occupation, but maybe we did. Maybe we put more faith in our occupation and then into Jesus. I don't know. We don't need to keep going off on I don't even know what that was about right now. Yeah, like, what are we loyal to? Like, what was that I just kept going in for? Just whack. And I just went in for more whacks. Whack. Oh, no, it's weird. I was in middle school or high school. I said, we better get group therapy, or when this ship goes down, it's going to be it's going to be worse than the Titanic. Little did I know there was just certain key characters that were going to get attacked worse to go down like the Titanic. All right. Okay, well, this has been interesting as always. And maybe it'll help someone one day. And I wouldn't put a timestamp on that. I mean, us humans are really exciting to work with. I mean, have you ever thought about it with Jesus? Like, it's pretty exciting down here, us with our free wills. We should keep it that way. And because of our free wills, and people can shift, and supposedly God knows who will shift. I just think there's some stuff we don't simply know about with certain things. And so, and God is just so compassionate. That's why we're all still here. It could shift again, but I'm really getting this is a solid one. So if I'm here in another, because I might have been saying this, because I'm like way off on numbers, as I don't know when I came on YouTube. So I don't know if it's part of Alzheimer's, but I know I was still really shy. I had been fried up really good at U of M, as I reported trafficking, and I had everything down to the dime. And little lo and behold, it was part of Michigan. Duh, because it was in Michigan. But little did I know it was connected to this county too. Long story short, I went on YouTube for numerous reasons, and one was to share the importance of finding Jesus, your own personal relationship with Jesus. Not Joel Osteen, not nobody, not no man. You and Jesus. That's it. That's it. And there was a bunch of things that I came on for. So, but see, this station's one of the ladders that's just completely blocked. And so maybe I've been on here 10 years. I'll sit down and try to really narrow it down again. I know it was a little bit before 2019, I thought, but that's where I get. And it was really close, within like 6 months of the e-cases, that it looked like they could finally get them. And I'm like, that'll wipe out the whole White House. Oh, hallelujah. God's going to let us have a turnaround. Meaning they would all have to go to prison or resign or whatever. A lot of them. Around the E, P, S. And then, I don't know, like really super bad stuff started to happen to people. I mean, it was just and then the shutdowns. It just like, it went the other way. It didn't like, it's like it didn't go up. It went like a bunch of more people were canned, you know. And most of them were blamed on suicide, and it wasn't a suicide. I almost just shared too much again. I'm gonna go, but see, this upsets people that wanted people to do it their way. And I don't know what their way was, but they probably sat around with a mask on in their living room. Those are the ones that wanted us to do it their way. Is the ones that sat around with their masks on and got every shot that came out or something. And I know that I had to start really hiding from the ones that I came from, because I was getting threatened by the brother that they were going to call the law on me to make me go get a shot. Those are the ones that wanted us to do it their way. Well, thank God that we didn't listen to them. There has to be, this is for the scaredy cats out there that want everyone else controlled and doing it their way, there has to be a certain population of humans on the earth that are willing to put their life on the line for what's right. It's just the way that it goes. And you know what? I don't know if God lost some along the way, or they took the bigger paycheck somewhere else. You know, I don't know. But some of us had to get bumped to a position that we'd have never, ever would have had to have been subjected to. And I'm not kidding. And it's because y'all done You did drink the Kool-Aid with the church, and a lot of the church. I'm not saying all of the churches, but too many of the churches sold out. And this is a serious, serious predicament that we're in. And y'all done wanted us shut up too, and messed up. And you're working right alongside some really evil people. And this is really hard to talk about these things because I love Jesus. I do. I love Jesus so much. If I didn't want to see the police, like I don't want to see the police today, but if I did, I would go, well, there's not a Safeway on the roof. Well, there is on the one spot, but I would go on the roof and I would just call out how much I love Jesus. Why did I do what I did with the organized crime network? I don't know. And God said it had to go down that way, and maybe one day someone will believe me and it'll come out that it had to go down that way. Or when Jesus comes back, he'll let you know, or he'll let you know when you meet him, is why I went about what I did the way I did. The police wouldn't help us, and I wasn't going to be trapped in my own property. And that's exactly what this guy did, and he's done it before, and he's done it with other people, and he's now out of here. And so why is that? Why is that? What's your guys' next move? Do you think we care? Do you think we give a flying fuck what your next move is? We can't believe how many want to burn in hell. We don't discuss it a lot, but, every once in a while, once a month or twice a month, we might utter out, how many people are just literally just diving into hell and they don't know it or they don't care? Okay, well, I gotta go. Now, I'll remember after I click off of here. Tune in to Liberty Fellowship, Kalispell, Montana, Pastor Chuck Baldwin, on Sunday, Michigan time, this region, Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Sunday. And get a nice, healthy dose of truth. But I'm going to warn you, he's opinionated. And he's not happy with how things are going with the government either. Okay.